Hello everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to share a heartwarming story with you titled, The Gray Cat Symphony. If you enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Of course, if it's not your style, feel free to skip it, no hard feelings. Now, let's begin the story. When people walk into my house for the first time, the very first thing they notice is not my furniture, not the color of my walls, not even the snacks on my table. No, what grabs their attention immediately is the fluffy parade of gray cats moving around like synchronized dancers. "Oh my goodness, do you run a cat cafe here?" someone once exclaimed, as one cat leapt gracefully onto the couch while another inspected their shoelaces. I laughed and explained, "Nope, they're just one big family. Same mom, same bloodline, same team of professional mischief makers." The truth is, I never really planned on raising a squad of identical gray cats. It started with one beautiful mother cat who decided my home was comfortable enough to settle down in. Then one day, she gave birth, and my life was never the same. Before I knew it, the kittens had grown, and somehow, I couldn't bring myself to part with any of them. They were fluffy, adorable, and each had a different silly personality despite sharing the same genetic blueprint. One meowed like an opera singer, another acted like a ninja hiding in shadows, while another had the dramatic flair of a soap opera actor. Together, they created a household symphony of chaos and love. People often ask, isn't it exhausting to take care of so many cats? Honestly, yes. My floor constantly looks like it's been sprinkled with cat fur confetti. My couch is basically a scratching post disguised as furniture. And my food? Forget about eating in peace, because the entire gray committee will surround me with wide, innocent eyes, pretending they haven't just devoured a whole bowl of kibble 5 minutes earlier. But in exchange, I get a home filled with laughter, entertainment, and unconditional love. I call that a pretty good deal. Living with a family of gray cats is like living inside a comedy show that never takes a break. Every day brings a new episode, with a fresh plot twist. For example, one morning I woke up to find all of them sitting in a circle around my slippers. At first, I panicked, thinking maybe there was a spider inside. But no, the slippers had somehow become the sacred throne of the day. No cat was allowed to touch them until the circle ceremony was over. I just stood there, too sleepy to argue with their strange rituals, and put on a different pair of shoes. Another time, I caught 2 of them teaming up like professional burglars. One distracted me by knocking over a pen from the table, while the other silently stole a piece of chicken from my plate. I should have been upset, but honestly, their teamwork was so impressive I almost clapped. Who needs Netflix when you have a house full of furry masterminds creating their own action comedy series? Of course, it's not always chaos. There are also moments of pure sweetness that melt my heart. Sometimes, all of them curl up together in a giant gray pile of fluff, purring in harmony. They look like one enormous cloud with several tails sticking out, and I can't resist snapping 100 photos from every angle. Other times, they follow me around the house, forming a tiny gray parade behind me. I feel like the Pied Piper, except instead of music, my magic power is simply opening a can of tuna. The funniest thing is how people keep saying, "You must feel overwhelmed with so many cats." But the truth is the opposite. I feel comforted. Whenever I sit alone, one of them will quietly jump onto my lap, as if to remind me I'm never really alone. When I'm stressed, another one will nudge me with its head, demanding attention, forcing me to pause and smile. Their presence fills my home with warmth, laughter, and a kind of chaos that somehow brings peace to my heart. Over time, I realized that my gray cat family has taught me a lot more about life than I ever expected. First, they've shown me the value of togetherness. Just like them, humans need community too. We all come from different places and have different personalities, but when we stick together, life feels richer. Watching the cats care for each other, sharing warmth, grooming one another, or simply sitting side by side, reminds me how important it is to nurture bonds in our own lives. Second, they've taught me about joy in simple things. Cats don't need fancy toys. Sometimes a cardboard box is enough to spark an entire afternoon of fun. In the same way, we don't always need expensive experiences to be happy. Sometimes laughter with friends, a warm blanket, or a shared meal can bring us more joy than anything money can buy. Third, my furry companions remind me not to take life too seriously. Yes, life can be messy, unpredictable, and even a little chaotic, just like my living room after the cats discover a new paper bag. But if you approach it with humor, patience, and a willingness to see the charm in imperfections, everything feels lighter. After all, if I can laugh at a group of gray cats performing midnight zoom eyes across my hallway, surely I can laugh at my own mistakes too. So, while people still joke that I have too many cats, I know the truth. I have exactly the right number. They're not just pets. They're companions, comedians, and little teachers in fluffy disguises. They keep me company, brighten my days, and remind me that happiness often comes from unexpected places. And maybe, just maybe, one day I'll open that cat cafe people keep asking about. Until then, my house will continue to be the stage for the greatest show on earth, the Gray Cat Symphony, performed live every day, tickets free of charge, and cuddles included. Living with my family of gray cats has made me realize how much their world mirrors our own lives. Each cat, though born from the same mother, has a unique personality, some playful, some dramatic, some quiet observers. Yet they coexist under the same roof, finding comfort in each other's company. This reminds me of how human relationships work. We often live, study, or work alongside people who are very different from us, and sometimes those differences can feel overwhelming. But just like my cats, we can learn to appreciate diversity instead of resisting it. Their simple joys, playing with a box, sharing warmth in a pile, or following me like a little parade, also remind me that happiness often comes from the smallest things, not from chasing what we don't have. In modern life, where stress and busyness dominate, it's easy to overlook these simple sources of joy. My cats also teach me not to fear chaos. Sometimes disorder brings laughter and connection, and perfection isn't necessary for happiness. So the lesson is clear. Value the community around you. Enjoy simple moments. Embrace differences, and don't be afraid to find humor in life's little messes.